Welcome to Perspectives, our series on thought experiments. In this series, we present provocative and unsettling narratives that challenge mainstream ideology and explore hidden truths. Nothing here is to be considered the only current reality. At Beyond Elemental, we simply aim to present information available in the ether in an organized manner and speculate the narrative. It is up to you to determine your truth. With that, enjoy. Games people play. The chessboard. In a world where politics mirrors a grand game of chess, the United States stands at a pivotal juncture, its history a testament to strategic gambits and daring rolls of the dice. Born in 1776 from the ashes of rebellion, 13 colonies shattered the British Crown's iron grip, declaring independence with a defiant flourish on July 4th. On this fledgling chessboard, pawns, such as farmers, merchants, and militiamen, moved under the calculated guidance of revolutionary grandmasters like Washington and Jefferson, driven by a thirst for liberty. Yet, as the smoke cleared, the board revealed a fragile nation, its pieces scattered and its rules unwritten, setting the stage for centuries of political play. The role of the dice. The Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union served as the United States' first written constitution. Drafted in 1777 amidst the urgency of wartime, its implementation was hindered by concerns over centralized authority and extensive land claims by individual states. It finally achieved ratification on March 1st, 1781. The Articles of Confederation emerged as the first governing blueprint for this new nation. Under the Articles of Confederation, the states maintained their sovereignty and independence, with Congress acting as the final authority on dispute resolutions. Notably, the Articles of Confederation officially named the new nation the United States of America, a chaotic game of risk where 13 sovereign states protected their territories with relentless fervor. The roll of the dice dictated survival. A trade dispute here, a border skirmish there, and the specter of collapse loomed as foreign powers like France and Spain eyed the disarray. Congress was empowered to forge treaties and alliances, maintain armed forces, and coin money. However, the central government lacked the authority to levy taxes and regulate commerce. The Dungeon Master's Decree. Stimulated by severe economic troubles, which produced radical political movements such as Shays's Rebellion, and urged on by a demand for a stronger central government, Congress called for a constitutional convention in 1787 for the creation of new federal laws. In the sweltering summer of 1787, the Constitutional Convention convened in Philadelphia. The delegates included many of the leading figures of the period. Among them were George Washington, who was elected to preside, James Madison, Benjamin Franklin, and Alexander Hamilton. Ostensibly from May 25th to September 17th, 1787, they met behind locked doors like a dungeon master's council gathering. They rolled the dice of fate, discarding the Articles of Confederation like a failed campaign. There proposed a bicameral legislature with proportional representation in the lower house and equal representation of the states in the upper house. All revenue measures would originate in the lower house. The Constitution they forged was no mere rule book, but a grand decree. Ratified in 1788, the Constitution of the United States crowned Congress, the President, and the Supreme Court as the new triumvirate, transforming chaotic states into players under a single banner. The powers of the federal executive and judiciary were enumerated, and the Constitution was itself declared to be the supreme law of the land. The nation's story shifted from a dice-driven free-for-all to a structured epic, guided by unseen hands. The Gambit. Fast forward to February 2025, and the political arena crackles with tension. President Donald Trump, a polarizing grandmaster of the chessboard, has clawed his way to a second non-consecutive term after a brutal 2024 election season, plagued by attempted assassinations and a prejudiced mainstream. Trump repurposed the Obama-created U.S. Digital Service, USDS, into the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, and the audits began. The chessboard trembles as the deep state rallies and sharpens its blades, sensing an endgame unlike any before. As the veil lifts and starts to reveal a tangled web of abuse, fraud, and corruption so egregious it ignites calls from the governed for a reckoning. Through the interwebs, speculation swirls. Could Trump defy tradition and seek a third term? However, a bolder cry begins to rise from the chaos, a demand for a constitutional convention, echoing 1787's audacity. The New Order. In a move as daring as a knight's leap, Congress greenlights a convention, birthing a radical vision. New articles to reshape governance into a civic corporation or shareholder state. Gone is the solitary presidency. In its place rises a board of directors, a D&D-inspired council of strategists, and a chairman of the board. This board, stocked with economic titans, military brass, and populist voices, crafts policy with chess-like precision, guiding an appointed president CEO to execute directives. Accountability tightens, quarterly reports to citizens, now stockholders, replace vague promises, and power balances on a razor's edge between boardroom decree and public will. The bureaucrats watch warily, their influence curtailed but not crushed, as this new form of order promises efficiency over entropy. The expansion. With domestic foundations reset, the United States casts its gaze outward, a risk player eyeing the global board. Canada, reeling from economic woes, faces annexation whispers. Mexico is also tapped as a state for the security of both regions, and Greenland, for a reason cloaked in mystery, becomes a territory. Some whisper of secret Arctic bases or untapped resources, and a plan to reveal this realm's true design. Economically, the nation pivots. Federal income taxes vanish, replaced by reciprocal tariffs that swell coffers and shield industries. Citizens, once mere taxpayers, or chattel stock in the eyes of the old bureaucracy, become stockholders by way of birth, issued a share in a national sovereign trust via the birth certificate, funded by trade dividends from strategic deals and resource windfalls. The Treasury morphs into a corporate ledger, and prosperity hinges on bold expansion, not borrowed debt. The people's voice. This restructuring hands power back to the people. Every citizen a shareholder voter on every referendum and initiative. Monthly polls and blockchain-secured ballots let them weigh in on tariffs, expansions, even board appointments, creating a sense of true ownership in their governance. The government, once a distant monolith, now pivots on the people's pulse, its successes and failures tied to their will. The United States of America now strides toward a shared destiny, its citizens no longer bond slaves but players, their voices echoing across the board. Game over for now. Chess's strategy, D&D's storytelling, Risk's conquest, have sculpted the United States anew. From a rebel confederacy to a corrupt republic, it now stands as a speculative hybrid, a nation of stockholders guided by a board, its borders stretching, its people empowered. The game evolves, its rules rewritten, but one truth endures. The board is never static, and the stakes have never been higher. As it seems, there are still a few bureaucrats lingering, plotting in shadowed corridors.